Video 31, When Photos Fail, and the Meaning of Life. Liam Neeson is Ralph Fiennes, etc. This is when you have one actor playing two characters, for example all of these couples, and they have photos of them together, often a lot of photos. But as we shall see from many photos, incompetence makes it often easy to see it's really a montage of at least 3 photos or 2 photos if they black out the background. Miley, I'm really sorry that I'm having to use you again as an example of this nonsense. I'm just familiar with your photos now. It's the price of fame, I'm afraid. I've changed the channel name from John Cheetham South Africa to Paul Herder, and my next video will be a quick little video explaining what that is all about. I get people telling me all the time that I've got it wrong and all these actors are just similar looking to each other. So I think, should I be more thorough about this? In video 30 I only showed the identical teeth of Miley, Jennifer and Capri and said that I'd checked out all the others myself, but that's not good enough, is it, to convince anybody? And it made me think that I guess my videos are for people who already know multi-role goes on, rather than the NPCs. So they're for people who want to learn new couples, or I mention techniques a lot, and I talk a lot about the wider situation in the Hoax system. I think it's up to the gods how in tune with reality somebody is. Seriously, I mean, if they're aware of this or that. I think I should give Hans Wurmhat credit for the phrase Hoax system. A great phrase I think he coined. I think clown freak show is his as well. With this video it's about photos, so I may not go into detailed analysis of each couple. Well, actually I do on some of them, yes. If you want a link to the source materials that I first saw about any of these couples, just comment such and I'll dig it up for you. I'm going to prove that loads of photos are faked, and for anybody rational, that on its own is proof that something is afoot, because you either believe this or you don't. I talked mainly about Miley, Jennifer and Capri. I mentioned Aisha and Lourdes in this video in connection with some aspect. So now I'm going to, just to finish things off, I'm just going to introduce Melania and then start off with Amanda's photos. Melania Lazzarin is an Italian actress, mainly appearing in soaps, and she also happens to be Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus can speak Italian. At first she'd just need to pronounce the words, no need to understand, but she can probably speak it by now. Actually, Italian TV are experts at dubbing. Melania looks like it's after the Miley group got breast implants. So what did she look like before? I made the point on video 30 when talking about Miley and Jennifer Lawrence that it's best to analyse them young before she develops distinct characters for each instance and distinct looks for each instance. So let's see a side-by-side with Miley and Melania young. Melania on the right. Do I need to make any comment on this? Seriously? Melania wasn't well known at this time, probably only just starting her career in Italy, so they were not cautious. I doubt if she's known much now, outside of Italy even. Amanda, however, like Miley, an American child star. So they had to make a lot more effort to differentiate her from Miley from the very beginning when she was very young than they did with Melania. Identical teeth in what we saw in video 30 for Miley, Jennifer and Capri. If you see the front, the 6 top front ones, are further forward than the rest of her top teeth. I don't know what they look like now, maybe the same. I just looked at their teeth when they were all young. But the fascinating thing about this photo is that we can see a face mask where it ends around the eyes. So they've obviously done a lot of work to change her face, just subtle things, that they actually need a latex face mask to hold it all together. I'm making a video when prosthetics go wrong, and I could use Amanda's photos, but I've got enough examples already and I want to give Miley a break. They often have two instances of the same woman having a spat and bitching about each other. It's all good, wholesome fun. This is supposedly what Amanda looks like now. The blonde fat one and or the dark haired one. The dark haired one still looks like Miley. Amanda Bynes looks unrecognisable, it says. New Amanda's cheekbones and jawbones seem wider, and her nose is now much narrower at the top. She's so talented that when she puts on weight, she changes her bone structure. I wish I could do that. So it could be a different actress here, but to confuse the matter, the default woman of the Miley group does have a small nose, narrower than the young Amanda at the top, and they build it up with different prosthetics depending on the particular character she's playing, e.g. Amanda Bynes. So Miley has ditched her Amanda instance. If this is still Miley, she won't want to keep putting on a fat suit. The fat one may not give any video interviews, she may just be for the photos in the gossip magazines. Yeah, so women can say, well, I've let myself go, but it happens to everybody, even Amanda Bynes. At least they haven't given her a fake suicide. Usually when these stars are tired of playing a particular role, or when the system, for whatever reason, wants a particular young character to end, a fake accident or fake suicide is arranged, and more media gets sold and more lies get spread, so it's all good. Miley and Amanda some time ago, and Jennifer and Miley more recently. These are not bad montages, we'll see many far worse, but even the terrible ones, which we shall see, are plenty good enough for the 99% of this realm who are the non-player characters. Ha ha ha, I just saw your video 30, where you said Jennifer Lawrence and Miley Cyrus are the same person. But how can they be? Look, they're in the same photo together. Yeah, I have had somebody say that. A common laziness when creating a montage of the same person is to black out the background. Less work involved. Because each individual has a different background. Even if both photos were taken, in the same spot, in the same room. Also, behind the Jennifer photo, the floor would rise up the picture due to perspective and would reflect back a lot of light. You can't have the two women brightly lit and then everything else a black hole. How far is the wall behind them? It would have to be 1,000 meters for this photo to be genuine. And shouldn't we be able to see a bit of Miley's right arm, either by her side or with her hand on Jennifer's shoulder? Their left arms look excessively similar, which shouldn't be a surprise, of course. Now here's an example of photos well done. Model Bella Hadid on the left is model Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber's wife. Hailey Bieber on the right. We'll see that clearly in the next photo. But there are still errors even in their best photos, which we shall see. Now the article accompanying this photo called her Hailey Baldwin. So it was obviously, this photo was taken before she was married to Justin Bieber. She's the daughter of Alec Baldwin. Now I know I'm being fussy, but even in this photo, the most professionally montaged couple on this video, there's a white border along the edges of their dresses and a black border along her legs. So what have we got here? A bit of prosthetics on Bella's nose maybe. But we've got the same chin, same jawbone, same cheekbone, same forehead, same brow bone, same skull shape completely, same mouth, same hairline, same neck, same woman. That's why they've even got exactly the same expression. They're said to be incredibly close, so close in fact that they're the same person. And you can't get closer than that, to be fair. But they do make an effort with photos of these two. I love the cute way she's holding on to the thumb of her friend. For Hailey, nothing can surpass her mobile phone. Obviously she's a woman, but Bella knows this and was happy with a bit of thumb she gets to hold on to. Two problems with this photo. Can you spot them? Well, with the main problem, we have to go back to the other photo. First problem, Bella is casting a shadow, but Hailey is hardly casting a shadow at all. They have the same sized heels on their boots, about 8 centimetres or 3 inches. I'm being conservative here because it could well be 4 inches, but the main point is it's the same height on both of them. And they're almost the same height at the top, maybe 1 centimetre or half an inch difference. So from this photo, they're as near as damn it the same height. Yep, same height. But hold on. Here one is wearing her 8 centimetre heels and the other has no heels. So which is it? A 1 centimetre difference in their heights or 8 centimetres? Can't be both. Big difference. What does Selena Gomez have in common with Bella and Hailey? She has dated both of their partners, Justin Bieber and The Weeknd. This is interesting and confirmative because Bella and Hailey are the same woman and Justin and The Weeknd are the same man. They like to keep the couples together. The early Weeknd was so obviously Justin. They always use prosthetics, but in recent pictures The Weeknd is heavily masked. Maybe it was getting too obvious. Justin Bieber was also the late Lil Peep, which they had to pretend overdose out of it because as they aged it was becoming completely obvious that they were one and the same. Ralph Fiennes on the left is Liam Neeson on the right, two mega actors. Like the photo of him on the thumbnail of this video, this photo of Ralph has been miniaturized, but Ralph isn't always miniaturized. We shall see a miniature Ralph and a normal Ralph. Same nasolabial folds, same cheek crease, same chin, same nose but with some latex differentiation, same brow bone, same eyes, same eye spacing, same man. Like with Miley's montages, they've blacked out the background. Look at Liam's right hand. It's much easier dealing with straight edges. So let's just lop bits off his hand, nobody will notice. Shadows are almost always wrong. They're professionally lit, quite flat. But the shadows, no, maybe I'm being, yeah, his hand shadow is much too powerful. And is he lit from our right or our left? They're next to each other. Anyway, we're going to see much worse shadowing. I wonder if the real man is British or American or neither. I think he's got to also be actor Chris Cooper. And now Ralph's head is the same size as Liam. And he's not so dramatically shorter than Liam either. It's kind of blacked out again. Lazy sods, whoever created this montage. There are loads of photos of these two touching their heads together. The official line is they're not a couple, but they've had wives. They're just great buddies. But straight men aren't comfortable with pressing their cheeks together. It doesn't look natural, because it's fake. In fact, I sometimes think, hang on, are these two the same person? And one way to find out is actually to look at photos of them together and see if you can spot fake ones, which you usually can, and see if there are just loads and loads. There are just loads and loads of photos of these two together. I mean, it's kind of overdone, and that happens a lot with two instances of the same person. This is my favourite all-time miniaturization photo. I always laugh when I see their smile. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was New York Mayor LaGuardia, or Guardia, who got an airport named after him. This channel, Real or Real, is part of a group of channels with many interesting historical multi-roles. One of his videos is how Mickey Rooney, 5'2" or 1.57 metres, a very famous entertainer in his day, played General Charles de Gaulle, 6'5" or 1.96 m. I don't think they'd try to get away with that extremity today, but they do continue the grand tradition of miniaturization. Okay, photo on the left. Last time it was Liam's right hand that got sliced. This time it's Ralph. Photo on the right. Liam is lit from our right, casting left shadow, and also lit from our left, casting right shadow. And Ralph is only lit from our left. Well, they're next to each other, so how can that possibly happen? It can't. Also, it just looks unprofessional. They're still, it's staged, it's not spontaneous, but they're looking in different directions. It just looks odd. Ralph either has a much smaller head than Liam, or the same size. Which is it? It can't be both. Which photo is closer to reality? Well, neither are very close because they are deceptive, but it's obviously the one on the right which shows them with the same sized heads. It's good to see Liam laughing for a change on the left. It does look unusual and unnatural for him, but I'm very pleased for him. Liam and miniature Ralph. Sun casting weak shadow on Liam and strong shadow on the man they want us to believe is right next to him. Yes, they can make films with one actor secretly playing his two instances. Not secret for anybody working on the film set, obviously. Musician Will.i.am on the right is Haitian rapper Wyclef Jean on the left. And he takes the prize for the most shit photos. I would have guessed the system organises things for them, but with him, it's like they just gave him a whole load of money and told him to get some professional montages made. And then he thought to himself, sod it, I'll just get my mate to do it. He knows Photoshop. Will's right arm should be smaller due to perspective, but nowhere near this small. It's something wrong. Where the two of these instances, all of these instances touch each other, can be the hard part in these montages. And as a Photoshop tool, it allows you to make sections you choose, smaller or bigger, which are used here on Will's right arm. And I don't know what they were trying to do, but it failed. Shadows drawn too harshly in because they want to make a point that looks like they're together. Wyclef's finger casts a shadow, but not his thumb. He puts his arm around Will, but it disappears unless he's got half an arm. Now, if that shadow was real, it means the light is low and to the right. I mean, it's parallel with that, the shadow and Will's fingers, of course. So why is Wyclef's eye in the shadow? Why is his eye shadow harsh and his hat shadow weak? Fingers are too small to cast such harsh shadows because light refracts around them, but not for Will, obviously. Does this look real to you? with everybody looking in different directions. You have Wyclef and Will, of course. This is one of the worst montages I've ever seen, and I thought it must be an obvious joke. I thought they can't be passing this off as real. But no, the journals using this image are serious. In this photo, we see all these people perform "We Are the World." Liar, they were never there. They want your money to monitor journalism. Well, who monitors their honesty? Wyclef and Will together again. Maybe not such a mess as the last. Well, no, it's still a mess. You've got people looking in weird directions, obvious fake. Why not a greater depth of field? Get everybody in focus. Why are his glasses, top right, reflecting a modern LCD ring light, and his glasses in the middle, reflecting completely different lights, like the old studio barn door lights? No photographer, pro or amateur, would have them all looking at the camera. This is some kind of publicity shot. Except Wyclef, who looks like he's kind of out of it, doesn't want to be there. Nobody would sign their name to this photo, because it's not, it's a montage. And Wyclef is reflecting a lot of light from his right side, but nobody else is. Look, Will is giving us secret messages like the Beatles with the Sgt. Pepper's album cover. This band means he's trapped like a slave, and his hand means he wants to bare his soul to us. And he's looking away because he wants to be away. He's tired of all the lies and deceit. When an actor makes a film using two or more of his multi-roles in the same film, e.g. that war film with Liam and miniature Ralph, the hundreds of people working on that film must all be in on it. Are they just ordinary people who are just paid liars, or are they different in some way? I can't explain how nobody on any forum or anything anywhere has ever actually admitted that they were personally involved in something like that. Is humanity that cowardly? Because it must be thousands of people. Maybe the majority are in on it. Maybe it's just me who's not. Or maybe that's crossed everybody's mind. Some kind of the Truman Show, but without the film crew or the show. In videos 8 and 9 I put forward some theories about them being a different strain. I don't mean David Icke, lizard people bollocks. I was biblically influenced in those days, but the points I made haven't gone away. Will.i.am is not trying to send us messages in that photo, but he is the same man as Wyclef Jean. Ironically, it would be much easier to persuade most people, that's NPCs and conspiracists, of the former than the latter. Most conspiracists don't accept actor-based reality. Somebody said, why would they, secret world government, go to so much effort for this clownishness? But he, like so many, has been brainwashed into thinking that government is doing lots of horrible things, and which don't fit in with the humour of actor-based reality, or the humour of fake animal species. Firstly, it's not really a massive effort. The actors make money from all of their characters, and some of them are even talented. Probably it's the price of fame you have to pay is to play other roles, and to spend hours with makeup artists attaching little prosthetic pieces everywhere, and having to spend your days filming with that uncomfortable latex face. Secondly, actor-based reality fits in perfectly with everything else in the Hoax live system, which is a system not anything to do with money, by the way, or anything to do with pretend occult rubbish. See, the secret world government, via their massive shill network, want you to think they have godlike powers to clone people or change the weather. They don't. They want you to think they're evil and satanic and are into all sorts of occult rubbish, etc. They're not. I just don't think they ever got the hang of public relations. But of course, officially they don't exist. Officially the nation state has some meaning. Officially important decisions about their respective countries are made by actor clowns such as Boris Johnson and Emmanuel Macron. Secret world government may be more like bureaucrats fulfilling something or other. See Donald Pleasance in my video 13. And this realm is supposed to be a joke. And secret world government must be sanctioned by God, whatever that is, because everything is under him, and he obviously has a sense of humour, the original sense of humour. And if you're watching the Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid YouTube channels, which is 99% of truther channels, well, they've conned you. And we may have even asked to be here in this realm, with appropriate temporary loss of spiritual power and temporary loss of memory of such power, as a challenge, as a learning experience. The truthers tell us that we are slaves by nature of our birth certificate. We are owned by the Queen or the Crown Corporation or the Rothschilds, insert as preferred, from the day we're born. But maybe we're the masters. Maybe we're all masters. Even all the actors like Liam Neeson, who has to have a bumpy nose put on about here and little prosthetics all around his eyes, and he always looks like he's about to burst into tears because of the indignity and discomfort of it all. And maybe when we pass on there'll be a reveal, or maybe not. Hey, you supported Trump. You thought he was going to get rid of the deep state and make Merca great again. Well, guess what? He was just an actor, played by Elvis Presley when young. And when you supported him, he was played by comedian John Candy. See my video 22. And do you remember that thing, for thing, insert war, accident, pestilence, terrorism, that thing where you thought so many suffered? Well, nobody died and nobody got hurt. It was all just a hoax. Well, that's a relief, you might say, but can you send me somewhere nicer next time? But where would be the challenge in that? I think not only God, but even secret world government have to be benign. I've thought that for a long time. Anyway, as actor-philosopher said, Albert Camus, it's better to believe in God and find out you're wrong than never to believe. And if I'm wrong, so what? If it's not worth worrying about anything, I'm not bothered. Do I look bothered? My conclusion of benignness of government is mainly based on factors necessary for stability in human hierarchies. We have that stability. In the top levels particularly, it's important. I know it's a well-hidden stability to most people. And it's also based on things like a lack of tangible harm. And God himself is obviously benign, stability in the universe, for us at least. I'm writing a video called The Nature of God, of Man and of Secret World Government, which will be in both of my playlists, Secret World Government and also Why God Doesn't Believe in the Bible. So, therefore I don't think actor-based reality is hostile to us, as many do. It's a laugh, it's there for us to discover. But it seems to be only very few of us, doesn't it? A blessed few? I don't know. Right, I'm going straight to sleep now. I'm completely knackered. I'll upload this tomorrow. Hello?
Wake up! I need you to be focused.
Is that Liam Neeson?
Your arrogance offends me.
How on earth did you know I just made a video about you?
I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
I did make a lot of jokes about you and Ralph, and I could see how that could be considered disrespectful, and I apologise. But I can just delete the bits with you and Ralph, and nobody would know. And then we're all good with each other, right?
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
So I guess that would be a no on us being all good with each other?